Welcome to the Explainer. So today we're going to unbox India's official digital currency, the e-Rupee. Is this really the next big thing for our wallets, or is it just another app we're going to download and forget about? Let's dig in and find out.
All right, here's how we're going to break it all down. First up, we'll get to the bottom of what the e-Rupee actually is. Then we'll see how it works in your, digital wallet. From there, we'll jump into the big debate, the pros and the cons. And to wrap it up, we'll look at the road ahead and what the future might look like.
Okay, so first things first, let's tackle the biggest point of confusion right out of the gate. What is this thing really?
Whenever you hear digital currency, your mind probably jumps to one of two things, right? Either crypto, like Bitcoin, or maybe just another payment app like UPI. But here's the thing, the e-Rupee, it's a completely different animal. And let's start with that crypto comparison because that's where a lot of the confusion is.
So the biggest difference, really, it all comes down to one word, control. The e-Rupee is centralized. That means it's issued and controlled by the Reserve Bank of India, the RBI, just like the physical cash in your pocket. Now, cryptocurrencies, they're the exact opposite. They're decentralized. No single government or bank is in charge. And that's a huge deal because it means the e-Rupee is actual legal tender backed by the government, while crypto is just considered a digital asset.
And that brings us to the official, kind of technical term for what the e-Rupee is, a central bank digital currency, or CBDC. The easiest way to think about it is like this. It's a direct digital twin of a physical banknote. See, it's not just a number in your bank account that gets moved around. It's an actual digital token that goes from my wallet to your wallet. And that right there is the key difference from something like UPI. A UPI transaction is basically just an instruction telling banks to move money. But the e-Rupee, it is the money.
Okay, so that's the theory. But let's get practical. How does this actually work? How does this digital cash actually show up in your wallet?
Well, getting started is pretty straightforward. If you've ever set up a digital wallet before, this is going to feel very familiar. You just download the app from a bank that's part of the program, you verify your SIM card, set a PIN, and link your bank account. Pretty simple. But, and this is a big but, for now, you can only get in if you've been invited to the pilot program. It's not open to everyone just yet.
And this is where things get really interesting, where that whole digital cash idea really clicks. See, your bank balance is just a number on a screen, right? But each e-Rupee is a unique token. Think about a physical 10 rupee note. It has a serial number that's one of a kind. Well, it's the exact same idea here. Every single digital rupee has its own unique serial number.
Okay, so what does that uniqueness actually mean in the real world? Like what happens when you send one of these notes? To figure that out, let's look at a little experiment where someone sent a specific digital note to someone else.
And check this out, a 2 rupee note, one with a serial number ending in 691, was sent from one phone and it appeared on the other person's phone with the exact same serial number. This is what proves it's not just a bank transfer, not just a debit and a credit. It's the actual digital note itself, literally moving from one wallet to another.
That's pretty cool, right? But it brings up a really practical question. What happens when you need change? What if you need to pay someone 4 rupees, but all you have is a 5 rupee digital note?
Well, the system handles it perfectly. It's pretty smart. Your 5 rupee digital note is essentially broken behind the scenes. The recipient gets their 4 rupees, and that 1 rupee in change comes right back to your wallet as a new digital coin. It works exactly like handing over a fiver at a shop and getting a coin back. All right, so now that we've seen how it works under the hood, let's zoom out and look at the big picture. Because there is a huge debate going on about what it would actually mean if the e-Rupee was rolled out to everyone.
And the first major hurdle is simply awareness. It's kind of surprising, but even with this pilot program happening, less than half the country even knows the e-Rupee is a thing. That's a huge challenge to overcome if you want people to actually use it.
And this really gets us to the heart of the whole e-Rupee debate. On one side, you have the government looking at massive potential benefits. Like, imagine saving almost 5,000 crore rupees a year just by not printing cash. Not to mention creating a digital trail that could help reduce black money. But on the other side, you have the public with some really valid concerns, especially about privacy and security.
And this slide right here, this really nails the core of that privacy debate. Physical cash, it's completely anonymous, untraceable. The e-Rupee, though, is a different story. Now, the RBI has said they want to keep small transactions anonymous. But the technology itself, well, it makes it possible to track the entire life of a single digital note.
Every single transaction, from one person to the next, could potentially be traced.
So, with all these potential benefits and risks on the table, where does that leave the e-Rupee today? What's the plan from here?
Well, right now, it's still very much in a pilot phase, a carefully controlled one. We're talking over 500,000 users and 16 different banks are involved. This really shows that the RBI is taking its time, being cautious and measured, instead of just rushing it out to the whole country.
Yeah, the whole strategy here seems to be slow and steady wins the race. They're really focused on studying how people are using it and what kind of impact it'll have. And one of the big goals for the future is to make it work with UPI. Imagine just using your e-Rupee wallet to scan a regular UPI QR code. That's the plan. But at the end of the day, all of this comes down to one thing: earning the public's trust.
Which, of course, leaves us with that one big final question. Is the e-Rupee going to completely revolutionize India's financial system? Will it change how we all think about and use money? Or will it just end up as another payment app on our phones, lost in an already crowded space? The answer to that is going to shape the future of our wallets for a long, long time.